Hey everybody, welcome. We'll take a couple minutes as people tune in. Say hi, tell us where you're from, what the weather's like there. I'll give you an update on my Southwest Missouri weather. As you can see, the glare from the sun that's gone nova here. It's hot as usual. I know every week with that, I'm sure you guys are like, okay, Wayne, it's hot here too. I know it's hot everywhere. Oh boy, it's hot here though. Let me tell you, it's killing me, Smalls. Killing me, Smalls. Charles, howdy. Morning from warm San Diego. Probably warm, sunny, and nice, huh? Just beautiful. Just beautiful, I'm sure. I can only imagine. Chris says, I'm really interested in why people choose the games they do more than the actual games, if that makes sense. Let me get my microphone. I think I forgot my microphone to move it over here. Man, this is rookie hour here. Sorry, guys. Here we go. A little better now. A little better, probably. Sorry about that. What I was thinking. I was running a little late. I had to run some errands, mail some games. I sold a bunch of games. The stack of games behind the games that I'm showing off has shrunk a little bit by 6 games. I think I sold yesterday. So I've talked about a pile of games back here. I've been trying to sell. Trying to sell. I haven't really listed them very much, and then I'll list them, and then I kind of sick of going through the process of selling them, going to the post office, paying, and coming back and doing tracking them, information, all that stuff. So welcome everyone. Herman Lutman, the evil genius himself. Howdy. Hey all, hope everyone is well. I know I'm doing very well. Very well. I'm sure most other people are. Vince Angus. Yep. JBX, hey, hot. Yeah. Herm says, nice ACDC shirt. When did you know you were a hard rocker? Me too, brother. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I wore, was it 2 weeks ago? I wore my Iron Maiden shirt that I wore to, I know you're not supposed to wear the band, right, tee to the concert. I did it. Faux pas. Who cares? I had a lot of fun seeing Iron Maiden in concert years ago in Chicago arena there. So it was a lot of people, packed house. It was insane. It was awesome. So best concert I've ever been to for sure. I've been to some good ones. Outdoor festivals, a lot of fun, but that was the best for sure. Steve here. Like your shirt, I assume you meant. FYI, I've seen ACDC in 77 as a warm up band go. Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. Wow. Back up for Kiss. In 77, huh? That was before I was born. By half a dozen years. Chris says, took a day off due to bad back. All my fault since I found a great dance YouTube channel. Ooh, that'll do it. That'll do it. You get too good of a workout in or a dance, and suddenly, oh, my back. Charles says, I promise to be good today. No comments on miniatures. Well, you just brought up miniatures, Charles. You've already got, what are we in? 4 minutes in, and you've already going down that path. I said no negativity this show. That's what I wanted. And now you've already got me ranting and raving. You've already got me started, Charles. You're on thin ice again. That's 2 shows in a row for you. Well, I think I mentioned this last week. Someone's going to pull like a clip of me going crazy like that and be like, oh, this Wayne's out of control. Not knowing and just like to troll a little bit, have a little fun. I mean, I'll still ban you if you keep talking about miniatures, but yes, we still have a little fun. Exactly. You know, it's like, I'm not going to talk about this, but you just did. You just did. We'd have a non-wargaming show, maybe favorite concerts, favorite bands we've seen in concert. I used to go to Ozfest a couple times. Whenever they'd come through, like I said, I'm from up north, so when they'd come into Wisconsin usually. That's what like I said, Iron Maiden in Chicago. So from Chicago through Wisconsin to like Minnesota, Twin Cities areas, kind of those northern Midwest tours. Usually the shows that I would see. Okay, we'll cut you some slack, Charles. This time. All right, all right, all right, all right. So let's get started a little bit here. All right. So hope everyone's having a great week or had a great week. You've made it. The weekend is here. It's nice, balmy, mid 90s or so right now. The heat index higher. I was just looking at the Weather Channel, and expected high is 107 degrees with the heat index. So it's humid, sticky, it's gross, it's hot, and it's nasty. So this is not the type of weather you get outside and do anything. In this type of weather, you sit inside. And that's what I'm doing a lot of. And I do my workouts in the garage. I have like a home gym set up in my garage, and I have to get up early and do them in the morning because like it is too hot to wait. I have this big like steel industrial fan that I have blowing, and it's still just not enough. It's not enough. Herm says it's easy. The best show I've ever seen was Rammstein about 3 years ago, followed by Blue Oyster Cult in '78. Ooh, interesting how you have it kind of back in '78 and then Rammstein 3 years ago, huh? I know Du Hast. I can't say. I mean, I know them, of course, but I don't think I know any other songs other than Du Hast. So I'd be there for Du Hast, and then I'd be lost. I don't speak German either, but not that that's a problem. All right. So today's topic, obviously, guys, is types of war games I love. But before we dive into this week's topic, as usual, let's do a quick little channel briefing, look at an upcoming game, or in this case, publisher that caught my eye. So for the channel briefing, and let's try something new. I think I had it all set up here. Oh no, I don't have it. The show, there we go. Channel briefing, very official here. We're very professional. This is a very professional operation, guys. You know, I don't want any joking around. I don't want any people being silly. Okay, this is a very serious, very professional operation here. That's how we do things. So let's keep that in mind going forward. And it says, not lifting hard and was your vision is black. Oh boy. You a fitness guy, Vince? Pretty sure I saw on your Facebook. So, all right, all right. Doing some training. All right, channel briefing. Let's get back to it. Like I said, we're very serious here. All right, where are my notes? Found them. All right, first off, I am in the middle of my series, although I'm just wrapping it up on Save South Vietnam. You can see it set up over here for Bob Vaniff and Fortress Games. My recon unbagging video and a full turn tutorial are both up on the channel, so check those out if you're interested in the game. Save South Vietnam, if you didn't hear about it yet, is a dedicated solitaire war game where you take control of U.S. and ARVN forces and try to get South Vietnam back under military and police control. It's a really interesting design. I especially love the political track aspect and having to focus on more than just the military actions. So, obviously, I'll have my full thoughts, pros, cons, everything in my review, which should go up Monday, which will go up Monday. Second, after that is Save South Vietnam, is Flashpoint South China Sea from Harold Buchanan. I'm a mess today. And GMT. Look for the recon, the unboxing video to go up on Monday, August 8th. This is a new. Wait, Monday, August 8th? That's not right. Yeah, that's not right. It'll go up August 10th, Wednesday, August 10th. Sorry, my notes are wrong. Not that it matters. Wednesday, August 10th, because the my review of Save South Vietnam is going to go up on Monday, August 8th. So if you don't know, say Flashpoint saves. All right, restart. If you don't know, Flashpoint South China Sea from Harold Buchanan and GMT is a new release from GMT that I had P500. It's a lighter, card-driven, historical, sort of modern strategy game. The game tries to simulate the current tension between China and the U.S. and its allies in the region of the South China Sea. And finally, next Friday, August 12th, so the next show we have, it will be later in the day. Boo, boo, I know, sorry guys. It'll be at 1800 hours Central Standard Time instead of 1200 hours. Instead of noon my time, right, it'll be 1800, so 6 hours later. So whenever you're watching this, it'll be 6 hours later start time. The reason is it's going to be a special live stream. I'm going to have designer Sean Drulinger on the show. For those who don't know, he designed Point Blank Vs for Victory, published by Lock and Load Publishing. That's the card war game that is, I think it's finally it's shipping. It's on the boat from China headed here, but it's printed. It's on its way. Backers are going to get it, hopefully in 6 weeks, maybe call it 8 weeks just to be safe. I did a full recon video. I did a playthrough, partial playthrough, and then I did a full review. It was a really long review. A lot of stuff I covered. I was almost going to say good stuff, but I mean, it's for you guys to decide. So I've been talking to Sean, been talking to David Heath over at Lock and Load, and hey, we want to talk about my review. He wants to give his perspective, right? So we'll talk about my pros, we'll debate my cons, and then he'll give me his designer perspective on the game, why he did certain things. He can answer some of my criticisms, and also just talk about even my pros too, right? What if I like something? Why did I like it? What's going on with that, etc. So just kind of talk about the game a little bit more in depth on the review. All right. And then, so that's it for the channel briefing. Should have my banners prepared. Messed up. Any questions on any of that stuff, guys? Anything anything you guys want to talk about there? Oh, speak of Bob Faniff, designer of Save South Vietnam, Flashpoint, South China Sea. Just arrived in the mail. Read directions over breakfast. Looks promising. I think the game system looks fun. Hoping to try against a friend this weekend. Yeah, so I've been playing it. Smaller games than full size. A lot of times I can set up either on this table or my coffee table or the kitchen table. Again, those aren't the bigger ones that I'm going to leave set up, like Save South Vietnam, or Point Blank, or etc. Big hex encounter games. These are ones that I can set up, play a couple times maybe, and then put away quick. And Flashpoint, South China Sea definitely falls in that category. So it's lighter. I'm gonna give you my full review here, but like I said, I've been playing it a bunch actually, kind of in between when I get a chance in between South Vietnam. Jump on Flashpoint a little bit. Lighter style game. Maybe a little on one. It's one of those weird ones where the theme is really good. Like when you're playing it, you're focused right on basically U.S. and China, the balance between them. Allies trying to gain allies, influence people, playing event cards, moving cubes around, right? It's that like Gear, which it's not a war game, right? There's no war in it. It's just an influence game. Shades of Twilight Struggle, right? I know that Harold has said he hates people saying that, and I agree with him. It shouldn't be compared because it's a completely different kind of game. Other than it's just, it's a non-war game, historical current events type, right? Like strategy style game. But the theme, while also kind of heavy, or like very built into it, is also seems like maybe it's kind of light in that you could possibly reskin the theme. But I think people have said that about other games as well, right? Is that you could kind of, but then it's like it's a whole new game, right? So it's like you could easily say like, well, just change the map from China to Southeast Asia, right? South is where the map is. Change that to another part of the country, another part of the world, excuse me, and just rename the people, rename the event cards, and you're good to go, right? Some other conflict that was happening was a non-kinetic, right? A non-warfare type conflict. Go ahead and do that, which you could, and you could use the same system. It would probably play pretty well, right? It's definitely the type of thing where you play the game and it's a good system. This isn't just like the system gets you into the history in the game. It's a good system. It's a good sort of real back and forth, even just against the bot, which it's a solitaire game, comes with a bot. So it's real sort of back and forth with the bot. You're playing a card, the bot's you're going through a little checklist of what to do with the bot. Again, very simple. I've had to go into the rule book to really play the bot, which you guys know I'm not a big fan of. I'd rather it was on a player aid card. There is a player aid card. I'm getting into like my review at this point. There is a player aid card that comes with the game for the solo bot for both sides, right? So you can either you can play as the U.S. versus China, or you can play as China versus the U.S. bot. I don't know why you want to do that as a bad guys in that situation. Like, oof. Anyway, if you wanted to, um, but you really have the player aid card. Do I have it out? Oh, it's in the it's all in the box right now. It's like takes up like 2/3 of the actual card, and it's just a regular 7x11 style piece of paper card. Well, it could take up the whole thing, and they could include so much more information. Maybe we wouldn't have to reference the rule book. There's a lot where you don't have to reference rule book once you played, but when you get into the operations of the bot and the card, suddenly you do have to reference the rule book. So anyway, like I said, I'm kind of getting into review here at this point, so my apologies, everybody. And I was talking about Flashpoint. I was trying to see. So when I missed the conversation starter here, like a simple East Front solo chip pull game, it just takes a couple few hours to play and replay value. Check out Hitler Turns East 2010 by Ted Racier from Against the Odds magazine games. Okay. Solo chip pull game. So it's like, is it a chip pull? You play solo because it's chip pull, so it's very solo friendly. It is. It is. It's interesting. It's a good game. I'll tell you that. Spoiler. It's a good game. I enjoy it. I do feel like it's good solitaire too. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like this is one of the ones. So, and I've talked about this before. There's some games I'm like, man, I would never play this face to face. It is like even games that are designed right face to face, 2-player games. I'm like, I'd never play this with somebody else because I feel like you're just gonna ruin a friendship, get in arguments, you're constantly checking rules, the rule book, blah blah blah. That's no good. I mean, I'm sorry. Gaming with someone to me is a social experience, not a get into the weeds down in the dirt and the weeds with the game. And maybe that's why I haven't rushed to go to a wargaming convention yet. I'm going to go one day, I promise. But I haven't rushed to it because I don't want to get into this. I mean, I'm very competitive in real life. So that's my wife. But I don't want to get into that sort of like face to face competitive with some random person. And just like I don't know, just what's I don't know. I don't want to argue about rules. Let's just say that stuff like that, right? Like if it's actually competitive where we're even, that's cool. But I don't want to argue about rules. I'll just say that right now. That said, something like South China Sea, I would love to play. I would love to play face to face because I feel like the rules are very, very, very clear. I mean, you're going to know exactly what you can and can't do. With the solitaire bot, there's some rules you see, but if you look on the Board Game Geek page for the game, like 80% of the rules questions are based on the bot, the solitaire mode, which is pretty standard because when you're playing by yourself, you want to make sure you get it right. And there's always edge cases and stuff. So if the rules aren't very, very, very clean, you're going to have those questions pop up. Plus, if you sort of read into something or you kind of wonder. So speaking of South China Sea, Bob says almost unique. Flashpoint South China Sea has a completely separate solo rulebook, as you're not even supposed to look at the 2-player rulebook. Don't think I've seen that before. Yeah, it does. So which is pretty cool. There are other games. GMT started doing that, Bob. For instance, another example is Plains Indian Wars that I just covered on my channel. However, it's really good. Again, back to Flashpoint. It's very good. There are a couple things that are like not explained in the solo book. It's almost perfect. I'm not going to complain too much about it, but there's a couple things a couple terms and a couple things. It's like, wait, where is this? And I've searched and I can't find it, and then it's in the 2-player book, the regular book. So, but 99% of the time, yep, you're spot on. You pick up the solo book, and even I think it even says either the beginning of the solo or beginning of the 2-player book, like, hey, if you're gonna play this solitaire, just go use the solo rule book. And it again, 99% you're covered. It's like 1 or 2 terms maybe that I was like, what does this mean? I can't find it in the solo book, and I think I found it in the 2-player book. Yeah. So not. It's not that it's never. It's rare, right? It's rare. I would say it's rare. Um, all right. So upcoming games or publishers or a new publisher, newish publisher that I'd like to take a look at. Maybe. How would we take a look at? Boom! Vuca Simulations. So I think, and this is one of those things where I talk about this stuff because I think it's funny. So suddenly, I think that a bunch of us, um, I'll get rid of that banner. Yeah, there we go. You need to see me, baby. See the face that runs this show as the viewers are dropping. Just kidding. But a bunch of us Wargame YouTubers suddenly got contacted by them. I think that they were in communication with a couple of them, a couple guys, particularly I want to say ID Jester maybe. No. Rough Swordsman maybe was the first one. I wish I could remember his name. I'm sorry. I go by names. I know that's Wayne Hansen, the Wayne Hansen War Game channel. I want people to know he's Wayne Hansen, right? I don't have a cool channel name. Too late for that, but I don't need one anyway. I'm not a company or like a empire of stuff. It's just me. It's Wayne Hansen doing this. So I want to be recognized as Wayne Hansen. But so Rough Swordsman, whatever his real name is. Again, my apologies, Rough. Where do you go by? Swordsman? What do you go by? So Swordsman over there, he has been covering a bunch of the Vuca Simulations games. So they are a publisher out of Germany, and they have a few games, very higher quality video games available now. I believe Crossing the Line, I think, really caught a lot of people's eye when that originally came out. The second edition out now with a mounted map board, and now they're going like all in unmounted map board. So Cross the Buck River, Donnerschlag, Escape from Stalingrad, and then I have, as you can see, and this is where I was saying, is that I have Operation Theseus here, Gazala in 1942. But they contacted, so after I think Ruff kind of did a bunch of stuff with them, I don't know if there's some communication about it or what, but they contacted a bunch of wargame YouTubers like, hey, review copies, which I think, by the way, is genius of publishers to do. If you want to get the word out, contact a whole bunch of, don't make us have to seek out your games to cover them, either because we either have to ask for review copies or we have to go purchase them. I'm not that I'm against purchasing games. I love supporting publishers. I've spent way too much money on this hobby, like most of you guys have. But if someone's looking to put a name on the map, a newer publisher, especially Compass, doesn't really need to do that, right? GMT doesn't, DVG, they don't really need to. But guys like these Vuca Simulations, which I feel is very new as a publisher. I mean, look at their games. Let me pull up publishers. Vuca Simulations. I'm looking it up on Board Game Geek. Sorry, guys. Looks like their oldest game is 2019. Yeah, the Crossing the Line, Aiken 1944. So so like a few years old, just literally publisher 2-3 years old as a publisher. Makes sense. Send your games out to people like me who are then going to show them on their channels and just get word spread. So genius on their part. I'll give them credit for that. But anyway, looking forward to checking it out. I looked through their games. They're like, hey, what do you want? You want to send all of them, some of them, whatever. I said, I don't want a bunch of games like that. I get overwhelmed when publishers are like, hey, we'll send you a stack of games. I'm like, I don't even want, because that doesn't do it for me, right? I don't need a stack of games. I need a good game that I like to play and that I want to show off to you guys. Like I can go buy a stack of games if I want. You know what I mean? Like that's not a problem. Like finish selling these games, I can hold enough money to buy as many games as I want. So not an issue. But Operation Theseus, Gazala 1942, like I said, it looked really good. It looks very solitaire friendly. And that's why it's not a solitaire game. It is but like double solitaire play display. And then it mentioned somewhere else as well. Well, solitaire suitability is 8 out of 9. I get 1 through 9, or is it go to 10 up here? Anyway, but I think it looks. I can make it bigger for you guys. No, that's this search. Oh, I can't make them bigger for you guys. I'm sorry about that. But full amount of maps, full counters. Apologies for hear my dog barking outside. But so excited to check out Operation Theseus. And, if it's really good, maybe we'll check out other games that Vuca Simulations has. I'm just not going to flood my channel with them. I'm not going to say, this is not an indictment of any other wargame YouTuber, because every wargame YouTuber we have busts their butt to show content. And yes, we do it because we like it, because it's a passion project, it's a hobby, and we just enjoy showing off games. but like it's work, man. Even those YouTubers who are you see that just like only have live streams is basically start the camera, do some stuff in a and then turn it off, and that's it. That's their only like work done on it. Even there, they're spending time filming. They're sitting there filming. They could be doing something else. They could be enjoying the game more relaxed, more casual. Instead, they're putting on a show for everybody, right? But we do it because we love it and we love the hobby. We want to share the hobby. But I'm not going to. That same thing is so since I only do what I love and I share the games that I love, unless I find out I don't like them, and at that point I do a review where I tell you why I don't like them. Um, but I'm not just gonna get a stack of 10 games from the same publisher, 6 games, and just show them one after the other and flood my channel. What good is that? It's overwhelming for me. It's overwhelming for you guys. I just don't. That's not how I do it. So this one, looking forward to checking out. Herm says, "Wow, I just saw that Compass is reprinting the 3 World War II series, 120 games, 1940, 41, 42. Hopefully, do the 7 years war game as well. What are those?" So I do not know what those are. Um, Obviously, always interested in new or reprinted, I should say. So, because I've been asked that by other certain people. Steve Carey, friend of the channel, and very good designer, very good game designer. But friend of the channel, he's been in on Vern's story since practically day one. But I've been asked by him about covering older games, and I told him just like I tell you guys, I'm a little bit of cult of the new. I don't because of the way I look at my games and the way I show the games off to you guys. I don't necessarily want to sit back and just show, and not that would be just, but like I don't want to spend time on older games because I'm looking at the hobby moving forward. It doesn't mean that old games are bad or you shouldn't buy them. You shouldn't pick them up. But my sort of focus on this channel, yes, the gritty, right, sort of the tactical focus, the tactical scope on this channel is to show you a game in a recon. You can get just a hint of what it is, just a little taste of it, and then a tutorial or a full playthrough or a partial playthrough, whatever. You see it in action, right? Now you're getting the game itself. How does this thing work? You're seeing it generally without my opinion. I like to, for the most part, when I do those videos, it's just the game, show off the game. Like I shut up and show off the game. Well, I don't shut up. I talk constantly, but I'm just trying to show off the game. Finally, I'll have an overview interview, right? So I do the overview if you haven't watched anything else, and I have my review. So I have my thoughts on what I liked, didn't like, what could have been different, better, worse, etc. So when you look at, that's the tactical, kind of the tactical level of looking at my channel and what I'm doing, right? Then you back it up a little bit. What are my goals? What are my longer term goals? Medium, longer term. It's to help people get into this hobby and to show off games that I love, which in a couple of minutes we'll get to it, I swear. Show off these games that I love, this hobby that I love, and make it easier for people to either get into a specific game that I love, right? Like this is one game I like, and I want you to, or even if I don't even like it, but it's a war game, it's a war game adjacent. I want to make it easy for you to get into it. I hope this helps, right? For instance, my tutorial video for Absolute War, which I did not like. I mean, my review, not a fan. That video has a ton of views because people are using it to learn the game. And if I've had people that commented saying, "Hey, they use it to learn the game and they liked the game and they thanked me for the video," I'm glad it was there for them. I'm glad it helped them, right? So get into games that either I love or whatever, but also to get into for newer people who are either completely new to war games or are very new. It's easy for grognards and the older generation that's in wargaming, who've been wargaming since what? Some of you guys, 60s, 70s, like 80s, it's 90s, etc. Like I didn't play my first war game, not really, until the aughts. Is that how you pronounce it? The aughts, 2000s. And that was probably like late 2000s, like late 2000s. So I mentioned this before. Like I think Memoir 44 was probably my first like real war game, and that was I didn't play that till 2000, 10 or something. I don't even know. Anyway, my point is, I want my videos to be getting new people into the hobby. Now, if I do videos on older games, right? A lot of people lately have been like, do ambush, do B-17 Queen of the Skies. I've had a couple people ask about those. I don't know what's going on. There's some weird thing going on where people want us to cover those. But oh, you're old, Herm. Jeez, old man's got. I know I got some gray hairs here, but jeez, man, you're an old guy. Just kidding. Um, I want new people to get into it, and I think if I cover old games, that it's not going to help new people get into the hobby, right? There's videos on older games, maybe not the same as the way I do them. I know I said someone very kindly messaging me, saying, "Hey, really love your," called him the Hanson video experience. I'm like, well, thank you for that. And I because it's passion, I love what I do, so I like to make good videos. But he's like, he listed a bunch of older games, and I'm just like, man, sorry, Steve. Sorry, this person, I want to use their name. Sorry, others. I just probably am not going to cover older games on my channel anytime soon. I can't say it won't change. It's something I reserve the right to do what I want with my channel. Although at this point, it's sort of becoming kind of our channel, like you guys who watch it, who are subscribed, who like my videos. It's your guys' channel. It's becoming your guys' channel as much as me. Because if I do something you guys don't like, you tell me, either directly because you didn't like something or you don't agree with me, or you just don't watch a video because I do a video and you're like, you don't watch it. And I'm like, oh, well, not doing that type of video ever again. So anyway, that's why I don't really cover older games. But newer games, I'll definitely take small format box games. I definitely take, love those style, right? Monsters, they have their place. Hanson, though, likes the smaller games. And speaking of games I love, the types of war games I love, right? So this isn't just a game. This isn't a list of games. This is my top 10 war games. I'll save that for a video. This is the types of war games that I love to play. Why do I like to play them? I'll explain, of course. So, and you guys feel free to chime in. You see these games, what you like, don't like. If you agree with me, disagree, and then what types of games do you like to play? And again, this is war games. This is not non-war games. I have plenty of non-war games I play. You guys can see them a little back there somewhere. This is the war games I like to play. So, types of war games here. Let's start off something sort of simple, something redone. So, Soviet Dawn Deluxe Edition. Ooh, very nice, huh? This one is, and I knew it was Darren Level Off, the deluxe edition published by Worthington. It's still in shrink. I literally have. You can't see the videos now. I'm not going to move the camera. I have a copy that's open. This is an extra copy, sealed. I don't know. Maybe do a giveaway with it or something for you guys, something like that. Because I think, is it out of print now again? Did it sell out again? I can't remember. Anyway, it's not about Soviet Dawn, although I do really like this game. And I have a full. I think every game I'm covering, I'm going to have a bunch of videos on. Yep, absolutely. So anyway, States of Siege, right? I love States of Siege. I love this style. Solitaire war games. I don't know if I ever played a States of Siege I didn't like. They're all different, and they all cover different eras and topics, and the system works really well. Now, each of the designers has taken it on their own, and they've changed it. They've added things, taken things away, changed how the turns work. Is it cards? Is it counters? You're rolling a lot of dice. You're rolling less dice. Dice are usually in all of them. I don't know if I've played one that doesn't have dice, but it's a key part of it. Luck, of course, but just a great style of system. A great style of, sorry for the glare, guys. Oop, oop, oop. And I don't know why I'm holding this thing. Hold it up for you guys. Just a great system, right? States of Siege, and and going along with that, I love the fact that, so this is a deluxe edition from Worthington, right? So now, and this is again kind of where we talked about new games versus old and stuff. The quality of this game, right? The actual component quality. And yes, that matters. It matters to me. It matters to a lot of people. You have a high quality game, lots of good artwork, good production design, pre-rounded punch counters, individually die cut, mounted map, nice linen finish cards. Not every game has to have all those features. I do think the more you have, probably the better. Again, for a game that fits. If you have a 3-mapper, you probably don't need to be mounted maps. Your box is going to weigh 20 pounds. Sorry, Herm, and Most Fearful Sacrifice. But seriously, though, having a game that is really high quality, but is also simple and has a great solitaire system, big fan. So that's why Soviet Song using it as an example of the type of war game I like. One of the many types. I have many examples here to cover. So I said it somewhere. There we go. I totally understand, man, about new games to cover. I was turned off by Storm in the East, abstract for me. Um, and Storm in the East by White Dog, and that's the Storm in the East. Is that the Poland 1940 1939 invasion of Poland game? Is that what Storm in the East is? So I mentioned that 2010 game. All right, so another type of game that I love, and again, these are all games I've covered on my channel. So if you happen to be wanting to see more, my video should be the first ones you check out. Of course, is Defending America, Intercepting the American Bombers by Greg Smith and published by Compass Games. So this is a narrative style war game, narrative driven war game. So what does that mean, right? It's a type of game that has. Oh, okay. Bravo's 41. Okay, sorry. I guess I don't even know what that from White Dog Games. I don't even know anything about that one. I thought I knew everything about their games. But anyway, so it's narrative driven. So it is a game where you have, pad of paper, right? And you were writing down your raid targets. You can see the aircraft targets. Notes over here. You're flying sorties. You name your aircraft. You have a bunch of charts and tables. I love it. I love this stuff, man. You have your the bombers you're trying to shoot down. So again, this one's Defending America. You're shooting down these German miracle bombers because this is alternative history game, right? This is the future. This is Germany was not defeated in World War II, and said it's 1947 to 1948 ish. And you get to fly. Let's see, things like you see you have your pilot sheet. It's like a role playing game combined with a war game. P80A shooting star says shooting star howdy. So anyway, Defending America is a narrative driven war games. Picket Duty, The Hunters, The Hunted, blah blah blah. I could go on and on, right? Like there's a million of them. Target for Today, love them. Love the ones I played. Not all great. Some of them deserve to be thrown in the trash. But seriously though, the type of game I love. Why? Great solitaire. It's also a great experience, right? You're playing these games and you're telling a story, right? And like every war game, people have seen say, "Oh, you're telling a story," and you are to a degree, for sure. But when you're playing these narrative-driven games, you are focused on one pilot or one ship, one submarine, one plane, generally, or maybe a squadron, whatever. The point is, you're naming people, you are keeping track of skills, and there's a lot of luck involved, usually a lot of dice slinging. But you know what? There's something about it that's still fun to do all that. Are they going to be the realistic simulations? No, probably not. In the alternative history, so clearly not, right? But a lot of times they're just fun. You're fun and you're still learning. You're still telling a story. You're still getting that war game feel without having to, maybe checking a lot of charts probably, but other than that, usually fairly simple once you kind of know the systems. Narrative driven style of war, another type of war game I simply love. I'm curious about the Storm in the East. Is Barbarossa one that you're talking about? Anyway, we'll check that later. All right, what's another type? Oh well, of course. How can I? I can't. I would be remiss if I didn't mention a little blind swords, and not because Herm is here. just because you guys know I love it. Covered the games on my channel, done videos. One of my most popular videos of all time is, I want to say it's my Long Street Attacks tutorial on. So here's an example of a fantastic one by Claude Whalen. Thunder at Dawn, Battle of Wilson's Creek. Again, I live right near Wilson's Creek. Just I can almost see it from here. There's a bunch of trees in the way, but I can almost see the kind of the top of the hill that heads down into the valley of where Wilson's Creek is. But Blind Swords, American Civil War, chit pull, solitaire friendly. The chit pull adds that chaos factor. You never know who's going to activate. So both, first of all, realistic to the American Civil War, but secondly, great for solitaire play. So you don't know which side's going to activate, and then which side does activate which formation. You don't know. You don't know until you draw. You pull from that cup. Text and counter, right? It's got lots of information. It's not a light game, not a light system. Blind Swords is probably a medium, solid medium, I would say. I used to say medium heavy. I think the more I play war games, the more it's kind of downgraded to me. But that's also the fallacy of right what we fall into as war gamers. The more we play, the more heavier games seem lighter to us, and we don't understand why someone new to the hobby is struggling with something, or we tell them, "Oh, you're new, no problem. Go ahead, yeah, get enemy action Ardennes, and then pick up Thunder at Dawn, and yeah, you'll be just fine." Which maybe they will, but maybe they want to start with Memoir 44 like I did, and work their way up. But, in the maps, the ones that are already out, obviously, the late Rick Barber, beautiful artwork, just fantastic production. Nice, clear. Love the counter artwork, the counter design. Chris says I have Thunder in the Ozarks in the queue. That was the other one I was thinking of grabbing down because I saw Ozarks. I was like, ooh, I thought I'd grab it down, but went with Thunder Dawn just because, what can I say? Touch of little piece of myself in this one here. But yeah, just great system, great game, and chip pull. I was looking for different games, and I'm like, ooh, what should I pick for chip pull? Because I knew chip pull was going to be in this video, right? I'm talking about the types of war games I love. I knew chip pull. Maurice from Mo's Game Table. Howdy, Mo, by the way. Afternoon all, sitting on my desk at work through lunch. So this is happening, so I thought I'd jump in and say hi. Howdy. Always glad to see you, Mo. Stop on by anytime you want. Definitely enjoy the narrative and States of Siege games. Valiant Defenders and Leader games are way up there. One of those two, by the way, will be upcoming here in a couple minutes. But tactical, skirmish, small single unit games are the best for me. Hey, and everyone has a different style, right? I've seen people that are like, I only play strategic games. I don't want to mess around with like a unit or a squad. Too nitty gritty. I want a big, grand game. And it's kind of the middle, operational, things like that. I kind of like them all. I mean, I've played games that's like, hey, you are controlling the entire Roman Empire. Grand strategic, right? And other games where I'm playing point blank. I'm playing, I'm controlling, maybe not man to man, maybe squad to squad. Oh, actually, maybe knight to man from Flying Pig, or that's like it's either squad or man. I can't remember. It's one of the OG kind of games too for me, by the way. But anyway, so talk about those. What else we got? Let's see here. Other types of games I love. Well, I love a magazine game, a good magazine game, solitaire magazine game. For instance, Drive on Suez, Rommel Drives Deep, in World of War magazine number, what was it, 79? 78? Again, one I've covered on my channel quite a bit. Very good game, by the way. This is probably, funny enough, will be on my top war games of 2021 video that I hope to get done in the next month. I know it's like we're almost done with 2022. That's okay. It means give me more opportunity to play more 2021 war games. But anyway, this may be on that list. I'm thinking about it because this is really good. And because the focus of this game, there's obviously combat, but logistics are such a huge part of it, which was historically such a huge part of this campaign, right? So, but I love a good magazine war game. Again, solitaire is my focus, but two-player if it's solitaire as well. This is a solitaire game. Map is good enough. Map looks decent. It's not beautiful. If you take a look on the back here, it's got that like the classic. I don't know, flip it upside down, lose everything. The like shapes for that, which is not lovely, not super pretty. But if you look behind the shapes, you look at kind of the map. It's got a kind of a good different like varying tones and to the desert and everything. Little spaces here. It works. It works. Not beautiful, but it works. Um, but the counters are very clean. The counters look very nice. If you guys can kind of see them here. I'm not getting everything out to show it off. Quality's good. It's a magazine war game, so you know what you're getting, right? Although actually, it's the thicker. They've started doing a lot of thicker counters. I feel like with their games, so the counters actually punched out really nice. I don't even have to trim or anything like that. You guys know I'm a counter clipper. Don't even have to do that. This comes right out. Looks good. Forgotten Pacific Battles. That is one that I have covered on my channel and one I really, really enjoy. Again, another World at War solitaire magazine war game that I'm a huge fan of. They did a great job with Forgotten Pacific Battles. It uses the fire and movement system with a solo bot for the Japanese defender. Works super easy, super well, since really you're commanding the Americans landing, right? You're invading all these islands, and you know the Japanese defenders are fairly static. You know they'll move a little bit, but fairly static. So it works well to have them be a bot as opposed to um, kind of having someone play them and then just be sitting there getting smashed by the Americans who are literally bombarding them and crushing them. Mo says magazine games I've always had a soft spot for. They're a potpourri of smallish, fast games full of decent to good, but usually half-baked, underdeveloped ideas. Good for development practice. You never know what you're getting with a magazine game, right? And you get that. And that I used to think it was kind of. I think that one of the things I learned in this hobby is that you have people who have an opinion of certain publishers, and those opinions are not always accurate. Certain publishers are held in higher regard for their magazine games, and we're talking about magazine games specifically. But this can apply to other things with these publishers. And some are saying, "Oh, they're trash." Well, that's actually not. It's on a case by case basis because I literally I'm telling you right, I'm talking about multiple decision games that I would and World of War magazine, the modern one, which they got rid of, and then Strategy and Tactics. But there's also Against the Odds was one that I was told like, yeah, they're like the Cadillac of like magazine war games. Been so much time and development effort. Man, I just played Lee's Greatest Victory not that long ago, covered on my channel. I trashed it in my review. That rulebook is a disaster. The game design is not bad per se, although I question some of the things in there. And I know I saw who the developer was and I just knew I was like, oh god, I know I was worried. I'm like, it's going to be one of his rule books. Yep, it was clearly, and Michael Ranella, who designed that, he has fantastic games from Revolution because someone else developed it, is a different developer for his Against the Odds magazine game versus his Revolution games, right? Those guys at Revolution, they come at a game, they tear it up, and you make sure you get it. You're getting a good rule book and you're getting a tight game. This Against the Odds game, Lee's Victory, Chancellorsville campaign. It's the rule book's a disaster. The game itself is okay. Actually looks beautiful, beautiful production. Against the Odds definitely does that, but for whatever reason, it just fell apart on me. And it wasn't the only one for them. So it's like here you have right. You have Decision Games can put out some crappers, can put out some fantastic ones. And then Against the Odds could put out some beautiful productions. He's like, why isn't it a box game? You know what I mean? People should be spending $60 on this. This isn't a magazine game. Or they have ones that's like, yeah, this someone else needed to develop this bad boy. This is not a good game. Notice he had a video playthrough of Königsberg from Revolution Games. They had that one, very nice game. Also check out Red Typhoon from the same company. Is Red Typhoon also is that a I Go You Go style? Action counter is a Königsberg. Again, it's a chip pull. So you guys know I love that chip pull, and it works for that game. I've heard people that when they say, "Well, chip pull won't work for certain campaigns. It only works when you have American Civil War, right, where that level of chaos of basically word of mouth orders, battle flags, symbol, stuff like that." But no, it works for other games and other eras as well, including the Königsberg game works fantastic for it. So really big fan of that one. Yep. And then the Poland Defiant is also same designer, same publisher, same system. It's maybe my favorite more than Königsberg, actually. Oh, we're going to talk about that. Pretty much everything from Revolution is going to be solid. Roger exhaustively tests each game he releases. You can tell. You can tell. You know, and hey, I tell it like it is, right? You guys know that. You release a game that I think this rulebook is a disaster, is trash. I'm going to tell you that. This game I think deserves to be in the trash. I'm going to tell you that. Revolution, though, no BS. They do a fantastic job. I think it's that right, that testing, and I can only imagine the criticism in a positive way, right? The being critical when they are developing and these games, when they are testing them. I can only imagine the level of how critical they are with themselves, with the game, and making sure things are done right. Because that's what you need to do, right? You need to look at it and say, what can we improve? Not, does this look good? Yeah, it looks good. Release it. Fanboyism is strong in every gaming community, even Wargames. You got that right. He is. He is. So I have not yet. I just ordered a copy yesterday. So it is hopefully on its way. It's not on its way yet. I just had a little Facebook thing with Mo. He had something coming. I tried to contact Michael Kennedy over there at White Dog Games, get my order jumped ahead of Mo in the queue. So I'm waiting to hear back on that one. Chris says, if the subject matter is only mildly interesting to me, such as World War II, then I want a game that is not too crunchy. More game than simulation, or something I'm really into. More complexity, please. Ooh, that's a great point. I really like that, Chris. That is a great point. That's maybe something where why when I play, when I play, excuse me, I lost train of thought here. When I play like an American Civil War game, I'm okay with it being in depth, crunchy, you know, I don't really like the word crunchy so much. I don't complex. I know crunchy. I think it's the play rated guys who use the word crunchy all the time. I try not to, but a game that's more complex, right? And it has more moving parts and it has more systems and more interconnected systems. It's just a more complex game. Simple as that, right? I'm okay with that. But like you said, if it's something that I'm not as interested in, I want to be quick. I want to be quick to learn, quick to play, because it doesn't have those extra factors holding me into the game, right? I'm not just, man, I love the history and I love the people that were involved and I love the stories and all these things. And so I have all these kind of external factors pushing my passion, driving my passion, which means that I have no problem with, oh, I have to spend a lot of time learning how this combat system works. Okay, cool, because I love this topic and I love this theme and I love this battle or I love this the situation. But if it's something that I'm like, okay, all right, I'll check it out. Man, don't give me something complex on that. If I'm like, yeah, maybe. If it's complex, I'm probably already like not gonna like it. And it's not because I can't handle the complexity. It's not because I don't like the topic per se. I just don't have that passion driving me. Great point, Chris. Great point, Chris. Talking about magazine games, Mo mentions magazine games don't get the same development cycle as published games. They don't have the time, and it's all done through volunteers. DG Mag goes through 3 to 4 steps of testing dev. Yeah, I mean, they still have the time, right? I mean, they are producing X amount. It's not when it's done, it's done. Revolution games, and go back to them because again, I think most of us can admit they do just a fantastic job. They're not infallible, they're not perfect. They do a fantastic job. As good, at least as good in the business as anyone, of putting these games through the ringer before they're released. You have magazine games. I mean, they're on a schedule. They have to have games to go. There's not a question of that. So, yeah, there may be some sacrifices. I think it's not. It's like I've talked about this before with mistakes in my videos. I don't want to make mistakes. I want to make as few mistakes as possible. Theoretically, zero mistakes. I know though that mistakes are going to happen. You have to accept they're going to happen. I have to accept them as someone making these videos that there's going to be mistakes, which maybe I'm teaching someone the game wrong. Now, hopefully it's a small thing, right? Hopefully it's something that I make a mistake that you pick up on. In fact, just the other day, someone commented on a mistake I made in a video, and as I went and rewatched the part where I made the mistake, I actually said the right thing, but then you see me do the wrong thing on the table, which is very funny to me that I did that. Like, talk about a disconnect, right, between verbalizing, talking, teaching the game, and then I physically actually did the wrong action. Why did I do that? But anyway, But if people see it and they point it out, that's good, because then it allows me to correct my mistakes. It allows everyone who watches the video to know, oh, that's wrong. Oh, this is how you do it. Perfect. Um, so, um, whew. Oh, here we go. You try old school tactical from Flying Pig. I have not. I'd love to see a video from you on that system. I have the Volume 3 Pacific one. Man, there's so many games. So many games I get, and I mean this in the best. I get so many requests to cover games. I get messages from people, and again, I feel honored. I love that I have fans. I love that you guys are watching these videos and are asking me to cover these games. But man, there's a like I don't have enough time in the day to cover all of them. I wish I could. I do have, and I rearranged my shelves a little bit, but I do have, what is it? The Battle of Kursk and then the Long Road that came in from Flying Pin Games. But when am I going to get to them? Man, I got no idea. I got so many games coming in. Fortunately, we're blessed right now. Mo says my copy of Vultures in the Night comes in tomorrow. Yeah, son of a. I mean, hey, awesome. Congratulations, Mo. Good for you, buddy. That's how I feel. Yeah, I don't think, I guess my word didn't get into Michael in time. So can't wait to get Vultures. I'm so glad to see the system expand. Herman Lemon have plans for next game in the system. Ooh, I'm curious. Let's see what Herman has to say about that. Thanks, Frank. Hope you enjoyed it. The game as well. It's off to another planet, another alien menace. There's always aliens. And first off, there's always aliens to crush. And secondly, the only good bug is a dead bug. Don't forget that. And not all aliens are bugs, but I mean, compared to us, right? Us very special humans. Yep, absolutely. Yep. Ooh, Chris says, no knocking decision games is why I like playing D-Day Quad. Just a nice, simple, and I can teach someone under 30 minutes. Was really into World War II, now I would look elsewhere. Yep, absolutely. And D-Day Quad, right, it uses the fire movement system. And if you have the new one, the deluxe edition has mounted map and everything. So very nice. I covered one of the quad, right? So one of the four that a viewer sent me, and then I covered it because he was like, "Oh, I really want a tutorial of it." I was like, "I haven't covered this yet. I would like to." So he sent me covered, and I sent it back to him. So that was kind of fun. But I haven't covered the whole D-Day quad. It is right. Yeah, I read it in my games. I used to be able to see it. Where'd it go? Oh, I think it may be down underneath now. Down in the pit, underneath the table. Ooh. By the way, check out World War Magazine number 61, Peaks of the Caucasus, Case Blue 42, chip pull and solar friendly. I believe it's just a few years old. Okay. Yeah. And here's the like a few years old, whatever. Again, when I say like I only cover new games, doesn't mean like it has to have come out this year or something. I mean, clearly I'll cover games from, I don't know, 10 years ago, whatever. I just, the newer a game is, the more I'm likely to cover it. When we make videos on Wargames on mistakes, even designers make mistakes when teaching their own games. It happens. We're all human. Yeah, exactly. And I've referenced this, and it is not coming down on anybody. And I referenced it during my, because I see a comment about my Point Blank review, and I mentioned it either during that or at some point. And this is not a trash on Sean Drullinger, who will be on my show next week. By the way, guys, talked about this earlier. He'll be. I'm gonna have an interview with him. We're gonna talk about my review of Point Blank, go back and forth a little bit. Maybe we can get a little debate / argument over some of my cons, things I didn't like about the game. We have a little, so that'd be fun. So make sure you tune in, guys, next week. But anyway, so I mentioned that Sean had. I don't think he made a mistake. I think what happened. Did he make a mistake? He did make a mistake. That's right. He made a mistake, and then he said in this video they made a mistake on. It was a playthrough video of Point Blank on like Tabletop Simulator, and then he said, "Oh, he's like, oh, I made a mistake." Like it's like it happens, especially when you have a 70-page rule book. And again, it's not a horrible negative thing because we all make mistakes. We are all human. But it's funny to see that, right? You see it as so if you see a designer make that mistake and we caught it right away, or whoever was playing against, maybe Devin caught it. Regardless, catch him if you can. But yeah, we're all going to make mistakes. Like just try to minimize them, of course. Howdy, Tom. Better late than never. Exactly. Exactly. Oops. Buckethead Todd says, really appreciate your point blank review. Hey, thank you. was on the fence, but you helped, forced me to pull the trigger. Seems like a cleaner Fields of Fire. There you go. I've not played Fields of Fire. And I've been asked about this before, why I haven't, and I should check it out. Blah blah blah. Seems like too much, too complex. Too. That's just not interested in me. I don't want to spend that much time. Point Blank is right at the limit for me, and I mentioned that in my review. It is, and I'll talk about it more, I'm sure, with Sean next week. Point Blank is like right at the limit. You know what I mean? Of like how much brain power I want to put into one single game. Also mentioned Point Blank because in my review I mentioned that I consider it a lifestyle game, which is how a little debate on the War Room. They talk about lifestyle games a little bit, and then what is and what isn't. They basically, which I disagree with them completely. They basically were saying that like ASL is the only lifestyle war game. I disagree because but you have to talk about what's the definition of lifestyle war game. They were saying it's a game you only play. What I don't think that's realistic because even people who play ASL usually play at least something else here and there, right? Maybe not everybody. I'm sure there's some who only play, but I mean, there was a game store owner here in town who was a huge ASL player. He still played other war games, and we stocked other war games in his store. So anyway, but I'm glad my video was helpful. Point Blank is good stuff. Just takes a look at it getting used to mentally. It is a table hog, yeah, and I mentioned that all that in my review. It's good overall. It is a little heavy, maybe a little heavier than it should be for a card game, in my opinion. And it's a huge table hog. It is. Even when you use the counters instead of the map, the board thing, it's still to take up a ton of space. Hey, just watching a video on Omaha Beach this morning, Wayne Hansen, to get a rules refresher. Says Chris. There you go. Talk about D-Day quad. I guess Omaha Beach was the one I covered, huh? Mo says, well, my mistakes in videos. Have you ever elf-linked yourself entirely when playing Soul like a different NATO? I've definitely made some. I probably made some mistakes that are game-ending style mistakes. Now, also tell you, and I've said this before during my videos, I generally am not making the best strategic choices at all times. I mean, it's the idea is I'm trying to show off a game a lot of times. So it's not, hey, watch me kick the crap out of this game. That's usually not the point of my videos. Usually, I'm sure there's been one or two. I know when I did my Invaders from Dimension X video, which is a fantastic solitaire hex encounter, easy, quick game from Tiny Battle Publishing. But when I did that video for that, and I had a lot of fun making it, had a couple of cocktails while I was doing it. I cheesed the rules because I knew how the rules worked with like getting your guy, so I cheesed it a little bit. So I do occasionally do that, but yes, I also make stupid mistakes. Herm says the problem with designers playing their own games. It's often a year after we've actually worked on the game, and in the meantime, we've worked on other designs with totally different rules. Oh, here we go. Herm standing up for other designers, of course. Oh, well, the reason, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Classic Herm. Just kidding, buddy. You'd be like, God damn that, Wayne. Herm says, plus I hate my own games by the time they get published. There's that. Yeah, I'd forget my rules if I designed a game and I hated it, or if a game I hated in general. Dimension X is crazy chaotic, good fun. It is, and that's why I had a couple old fashions while playing, just sipping a cocktail, playing it, having fun. My video I had a lot of fun making. I inserted some like pictures and some old video clips from Starship Troopers. You just have fun with it. That is not the game you take seriously. It's obviously it's not a historical game, right? So you don't have that burden, right, of like history and making sure it's accurate. And if it's not, if there's a wrong brigade there, wrong unit, then well, then the game should be destroyed, right? Totally different style. Tom says, no hating your own, the most fearful sacrifice at all. It's not possible. If it is, please lie to me. Bob says, errata. Some of it just emphasizing a role that ends up being too frequently overlooked once the game's in the real world. Trust me. Yeah. And Lasik, so errata, I'm pretty sure if you look up the definition of errata, and let's look it up here quick, is not just mistakes. Hang on. An error in printing or writing. A list of so that's what I wanted to say. So a list of corrected errors appended to a book or published in a subsequent issue of a journal. An error. So not all errata are errors, right? It's not technically errata then, right? It's clarifications. Because like you said Bob, and I've seen it myself, people will Ask for clarifications on rules, especially solitaire games. Big on that, right? Because like you're playing by yourself and you're like, I don't know, and you want to make mistakes or whatever. Which I like that too. I like to play a game as written, as the rules are written, as the designer intended. Yes, I can change stuff later if I want. I've been told that by a designer with solitaire games. Like, well, it's your game. You can play however you want. I know I can play however I want. I know I can do what I want with my game. I'm playing solitaire. Who's going to argue with me? Myself? I don't want that. I want to know how the designer intended to play it. Anyway, so you have errata, right, where there's a mistake. But there's a lot of times you'll have people ask, you go on Board Game Geek, people ask a dozen questions. And some of it's, everyone's valid. There's no such thing as a stupid question. But sometimes people have some pretty, like, common sense, or a rule specifically says, and ask for clarification. And then someone else will show up and say, well, this game has a lot of errata. I see a lot of questions being asked. There must be a lot of holes in the rules. It's like, well, maybe there is, or maybe there just happens to be that person or a couple people who have a lot of questions, clarifying questions, right? So not errata, they just need clarifications on things. Um, book games, book games is here. Sometimes there can be can't see the forest of the trees effect when you work some close along on a project and fail to see mistakes. Usually a good idea to have multiple eyes review. So I think that we all can relate to that. All of us who work do different things. So, um, for instance, when I write a report, when I write a police report, and I I know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to you know describe what I saw, describe what I learned during my investigation, tell what was told to me. I'm trying to build the elements of a crime. So we're talking about a criminal investigation. I need to describe all these things in my report. Well, I can spend hours on a report, and it can be just looks beautiful, just looks perfect. If I go straight and try to send that to the prosecutor, it may get kicked back pretty easily. Why? I do really good on reports. Why did it get kicked back? What happened? I had everything. I had all my ducks in a row. Oh wait, I made a mistake. I referenced something I shouldn't have. I didn't include something that did happen, but it's critical to the case. Or what if I have, I don't know, another officer look at it at the same, right after I'm done. And then I first send it to my sergeant, who then reviews it before it goes sent on. And usually, by the way, that's how we do it. It doesn't go straight to the prosecutor. Usually it goes to a sergeant anyway. But I'll even have another officer look at something, right? Hey, how does this look to you? Same thing any field you're in, right? If you have the chance to make mistakes, especially if it's very critical things, right? You want to make sure they're done right. And if you can't really take it back, like it's a mistake that you can't just take back easily, you better have other people review it. And I would say, like, talking about developing war games, talking about design, writing these rule books, just you're publishing them. Once they're published, that's it. I mean, you can issue living rule books. You can have new editions in the future, etc. You can have another printing that corrects mistakes, like Compass does. But the fact is, right, you should have as few mistakes as possible, because once it's submitted, once it's published and sent out to the world, man, that's a lot of people are seeing that, and they're seeing all those mistakes. And you can't fix it. There's no easy fix. And is that lock and load calls there or something like that, instead of they call it like corrections, clarifications, something like, right? They don't. It's not just errata. It's like CNC document, corrections and clarifications document, something like that. I think lock and load calls it. Yeah, I don't know if it's sarcastic or not, but just kind of looking at it, thinking in my mind, right, of, because I've thought about this, right, is like errata, because we throw the word out. We're immediately, as soon as we see something we don't understand, we're like errata. Well, errata, right, is a mistake, as the definition is. That's a mistake. Well, sometimes it's not a mistake. It's just we need clarification. That doesn't mean it's errata. That just means that we didn't pick up on what the designer intended us to pick up on. Rick says, Wayne, I like the way you give your true feelings on games, as some people sugarcoat the game because they received a free copy. Yeah, never. Um, I always just shoot from the hip, right from the heart. Boom, heart on my sleeve, baby. And there's lots of other great YouTubers, and I mean, not Kilroy was here. I wouldn't listen to him. Mo, he's okay. I'm okay with him. Kilroy was here. Robert, I wouldn't listen to him. But as for other people, just kidding, Robert. Again, someone's gonna pull that clip and be like, "Look, Wayne hates so and so." Be like, "No, I was kidding. I was kidding. I swear." But anyway, I'll always give my honest opinion because that's what's two things, someone you say a man, but a person is only as good as their word, right? And when you give that up, when you lie or deceive, or you are kind of well, I'm not lying, I'm just massaging things a little bit, man, you're giving it up. You're giving up your word, and that's what you got, right? People trust you or they don't, and that's the end of it. So, I want people to be able to trust that my opinions are my opinions and honest. Doesn't mean you agree with them. As we just saw, someone, my point blank review was like, hey, and I've several cons in there, but they're like, oh, it definitely made me want to pull the trigger and pre-order the game. I'm glad. And if you had said, hey, I saw it and I said, this game's not for me, I'd really be glad too, because I don't want you to buy something you're not going to use and enjoy. It's not going to help the hobby by pushing being nothing but sugarcoating and positive and saying, hey, pick all this, buy, 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 buy. That's not going to help the hobby. To help the hobby is to be critical in a positive manner and build things up. Well, this is good for these reasons, but not good for these reasons. And here's where they could improve. That way the next one will be improved. And someone who's new to wargaming or new to the hobby or is just dabbling a little bit, maybe is going to see something and go, ooh, this looks really good. And maybe because there was an improvement made. I have, and I'm just gonna, and this is, I know other people have done this, I'm not the only one, but I have made comments, I made cons, I've mentioned my cons, I've given final thoughts in my reviews, and I've said, hey, this map is too small. It doesn't really work very well. The counters get cluttered, etc. Then in the next one, like they fixed it literally directly because of my review. I'm not saying that because of my review. Who cares what I say, right? But what I love the fact is that they listened, right? That person, that publisher, designer listened and said, okay, if this is a problem, let's fix it. And they did. And one of the things that people commented on later on was the fact that the larger map was so much better for quality of life. It wasn't necessary for the game, but it just improved quality of life. And that was something that I said. I had gotten the game as a review copy, and I didn't mind having my criticism and saying, hey, this game is great and the system is great, but man, this map's too small. Like it should, like these little holding boxes, you're supposed to be able to put 4 counters and it's like a tiny little box. It'd be a lot better if they were bigger. And guess what? They listened and they made a bigger map. And now everyone after that benefited because of what I said. So this is what I try to do. Again, I don't get special bonuses for that. I don't care. I don't need a pat on the back. Oh, what a good job. But just being honest, because why wouldn't I be? I have to be honest. I'm honest all day at work. I'm going to be honest with this hobby and the things that I love. I'm passionate about this hobby. I love this hobby. I'm talking about the games that I love, the types of games that I love. I want to share this with you guys. I want to share this with new people who've been around for a while. It doesn't matter. I want everyone to see it. Except Kilroy. You can get out. Mo says, because prosecutors do the same thing insurance companies do. They rejected 3 times out of the gate. I'll no comment on that. No comment. Grumbling Grognard says, you were talking about auditing. Am I? Good to know. So I've done information tech for 2 decades. One person can do an audit, but it has to be very structured. Chipple, baby. Oh, yeah. We talked about that a little bit ago. Favorites. Kilroy was here. Haven't I banned you yet from this channel? What are you still doing here? Maybe publishers should rethink errata and market it as an expansion, a free expansion on a new, better way to play the game. Well, why make it a free expansion? They should charge for it. They need to stay in business. So I think that they should just charge a bunch for it. Same price as a new game. You want the complete game? You better fork over $60, $59.99. Mo says, when you do a review, you're going to piss off some people. People always pick up part reviews or any videos. Usually, a lot of people are the ones who are doing creating content. Yeah, and that's not it's not a negative thing on even people who aren't creating content. But yeah, it's people release game. You create something, you put it in the world. There's gonna be criticisms. You have to be aware of that. I remember watching a video, Gary Ardwolf, where I think it was him and Dan. Jeez, yeah. Ooh. Anyway, him and Dan. Sorry about that. I don't know if you guys could hear that beeping, but it was him and Dan who were talking, and Artie said that I think he had like a video, maybe tutorial or like a playthrough, and because I don't think he really does those, and now maybe he does. I just don't watch all his content. Sorry, Gary. But anyway, he had a video where he said he had some criticism from people, and he actually took the video down, which by the way surprised me because of all the like hard-headed people in the world and stubborn people. God bless. I thought Gary would be one, just like me. I'm stubborn, hard-headed. If I think I'm right, I know I'm right, and it's going to take a lot to convince me otherwise. But I figured him and be like, he of all people, he would just be like, nah, this video ain't going anywhere, and he would tell him off even, right? Which I try not to do at least. At least when people offer criticisms, I try to be nice to them. Unless your criticism's completely baseless, then it may be a little different story. But if you put content out there, you put a video out there, yeah, there's some people going to say, hey, I didn't like the sound. I didn't like the video. I didn't like your content. I didn't like your face, whatever. But you're a game designer, right? You're going to get your criticism. You get guys like me coming in going, well, actually, here's what you should have done. Who am I to say that, right? Well, hey, we're all in this together. We want our hobby to grow. Let's share. Let's talk. Occasionally we get on each other's nerves a little bit. Like I said, especially Robert right now. Which is Kilroy was here. He's super on my nerves. So, I still can't believe I haven't banned him. I can't figure out how to ban people. Otherwise, he'd be gone. Robert, I use Wayne's reviews to know what gems I will find when I drop by his house to go dumpster diving. Listen, I didn't you get served that order of protection to stay away from me yet? You go back to where you came from. Small box dungeon crawls are what I like in that genre. Ooh, small box dungeon crawls. I'm a fan. I actually have. Speaking of, which side is it? This side. Or if I go to my left here. Okay, right. Can you guys see Hero Quest? Right there. Hero Quest. So that's the new edition, the one that from Hasbro / it says Avalon. I think it says Avalon Hill on the box. It is not Avalon Hill, but Hasbro. But it has the app that acts as the dungeon master, right? So you can play solitaire. Oh, I got like all the expansions too. Like they're all over the place around here, random places. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You can see one right there. There's one on top. That's the newest one, the like ice one. Anyway, huge fan of that. And hopefully, I don't know. That one I hope to check out myself, by the way. I know you weren't asking me, but I hope to check that one out soon. Brian says, I think many people in this content world don't give honest reviews. I think that it's easier to say what you like than to say what you don't like. I think it's easier to play through something or part way through something and just say, hey, I like this, and this, and maybe this could have been a little better. But overall, enjoyable experience, right? That sort of like middling review, right? That like it's positive, but it's not even like super positive because it doesn't necessarily say all the awesome things. Maybe it's just sort of like, yeah, that was fun. I had fun. You have fun. I had fun. Okay, good. We're good. Bye. I think it's easier to do that, right, than to pick something apart because you want to explain why too, right? When I say, hey, Devil Boats, which the infamous Devil Boats video review, what? Hey Wayne, why were you banned from Solitaire Wargames Facebook group for a day? Because of my Devil Boats review. Well, one of the things I mentioned in it was the fact that I thought the rulebook was trash. Well, I didn't just say the rulebook was trash, even though I trashed the game, literally. Also, I pointed out why, right? I explained why I thought it was such a horrible rulebook. Is that literally the beginning of it says, we're not going to teach you the game, just go to chart number 1 and start rolling. And that's how you learn the game. The best way to learn is by playing. Well, yeah, I agree with you. The best way to learn of a game is playing. Best way to learn anything generally is to experience it yourself, right? Actually do it. You're building those connections in your brain and your hands, connection of like learning something, any skill in life, period. That said, you have to start somewhere, and you shouldn't start with just rolling on a chart, right? And there's many other problems with it as well. But there was something that I pointed out. Well, if you don't just say it's bad and then don't explain why you think something's bad, right? Don't just say this game is bad. Say, hey, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. And then usually what I'll do is, although I've kind of gone away from that, is recommendations. Sometimes I'll say like I don't recommend this game or I do recommend it. I've gone away from that a little bit just because who am I to recommend per se? Instead, I offer specific thing I like, specific thing I don't like, and you can decide from there. If I tell you, if I show the game off and then I show you what's going on with it, you should be able to figure out your opinion from there. The demand playthrough videos, like it only takes 5 minutes to make a video. If they only knew, oh my god. So my playthrough videos are, they take the most time to film, to prep for. They take the most time to film, and then they take the most post editing work because most of my videos, right, I do post editing. Talked about this before, kind of the like cake of content creators. The top, like the cream of the crop, right? The cream of the crop at the top is, like Stuka Joe, who does like professional quality editing. And then underneath that, you have like me, who does post editing, but I mean, it's not great. I didn't go to film school, but I have some graphics that pop up. I explain things, have text that pop up, etc. Okay. And you have people who do the playthroughs with none of the extras. They just like, they film a playthrough and it looks good. Okay. They upload it. And then you have like the live playthroughs where it's like the camera's at a weird angle. You can't read anything, but hey, at least you're doing something, right? You know how much work goes into these playthroughs? I mean, it's a passion. I love it though. Yeah. I mean, I love them all. I'll be honest. I love doing them all. Yeah, so good point. It's hard to play a game you dislike. If you're going to do a review, you should play it. So, two things. One is that, if you're reviewing a game, you better have played it. And this is something where I disagree with some of the community, some of the wargaming content creating community, is the fact that I think you should play a game all the way through at least once and probably many more times than once. Now, if it's a really, really long game, okay, no, you don't have to spend 100 hours to review it, playing it to review it. That's fine. But, if I am watching your review and if you mention in your review that you didn't complete the game ever, you've never played an entire game, but here's I'm done. I'm not paying attention to the rest of it because I need to see that from beginning to end. You better be able to at least once have been like, I went through all the way through this game and then maybe played some other little stuff, whatever. You better not have actually, if you did not play the whole thing, I'm not going to listen to your review. I don't care. Sorry. And if you only are positive in all your reviews, not interested either. But, it's also what ties into like not liking games. So what happens to me, for instance, like I've mentioned this before, I have like recon unboxing videos on my channel that are filmed, uploaded, and I haven't posted. You know why? Because I started playing the game and I said, whoa, I have no interest in this. It's not even like it was a bad game that I wanted to share those thoughts on why. Because usually what happens with my negative reviews are games that I was very hyped for, very interested in. Devil Boats and a greater Lee's Greatest Victory. I was very hyped for those, thinking they would be great, hoping they'll be great. And I started playing them, and I was like, oh no, this isn't good at all, and here's why, right? So I think that but if it's a game, if I start playing and the second I play it, I'm like, oh, this isn't clicking. I have no desire to play this. I may just shelve it and never get to it and make it to down the road, etc. So I have videos that I've made that are just like sitting in the queue for games that I just not going to get to. Kilroy was here, and then you have one shot continuous stream of consciousness. Me, yeah. I mean, I don't know why you keep publishing videos, Kilroy. I think that you should probably hang up the camera. I mean, who watches them? They want to watch your videos. Well, it says, for example, the learn to play videos takes at least 20 hours of editing work. We don't do it for the money. Yeah. Yeah, not for the money, and it's not. And for the people that this is again a little bit of insider YouTube wargame content creator style, but commentary, which is fine. I'm a very open guy, but it's like I've seen people. Well, you get review copies. First of all, you don't get all review copies. I mean, and secondly, okay, okay, so this game that is a $60 game I got for free. I now have to, or I don't have to. Like I think all of us who've received review copies probably have some games sitting on the shelf that we were sent and we probably should make a video for, and we haven't yet. But it's not enough reward for the work. I'm not complaining because, as I've said many, many, many times, the reward is just doing it, right? That's the reward, right? Is the fun, the passion. Playing the games is fun for me, and then learning them, playing them is fun, and then teaching them is fun. Like I do like that. I love the fact that I can show out these games to you guys. You know what I mean? Most as I play many games people love and never review because I didn't like them. Comet Commander, Sega Hara, two examples. People love those games and reviews would have been negative. Well, I mean, maybe you should have filmed reviews, and said why were your opinions negative? You know what I mean? Why did you play those and say, actually I didn't like them, and here's why, right? Not to be a contrarian, right? Not to say, well, Mo is gonna rage against the machine here and say, well, these are super popular games, so but I want to make, I want to make headway. I want to make word on the street. I want to get the buzz going. So I'm going to talk about how trashy these games are. No, but maybe you could share your opinions on why you didn't like them. Maybe it has to do with the card play. Maybe it has to do with block style games. Maybe it has to do with whatever. And maybe that way, if someone watches it, they can see, okay, and maybe be like, oh, I agree with you. Actually, maybe this game wouldn't be for me. Or they could watch it and say, nah, thanks for telling me that, but I think it is for me. Which I've had on my some of my reviews that I've had that are more negative. Which most of my reviews are positive, I would say, but I've definitely have share my opinion. I've had people that have read them and said, okay, thanks for the video. I actually decided to get the game because I liked the things you talked about. It to me, those are good things. And I said, okay, fair enough. And Mo says we do it because we love the hobby and want to do things that benefit the community. We get the satisfaction from that. That's all it is. Yeah, absolutely. Um, there's no monetary gain. It's only monetary loss. I have to buy extra games. I have to buy equipment. We get a little bit of donations in here and there to cover things, but it's not enough to cover everything. Not even close. Um, hey, ID Jester, and again, just like with Rough Swordsman, my apologies. I wish I knew your real name. I go by names. Except for I'm Wayne Hansen. This is Wayne Hansen's review channel. Wayne Hansen's YouTube channel. I don't have a cool name like you guys, so. But howdy, Jester. Yeah, I was watching something. He was very emphatic, recent video emphatic about DVG errata, which I would love to debate you, Jester, on that because I think based on what I saw, I think I have a complete opposite opinion of you. So, all right. So before we leave, because we still got a couple things to cover, I'm going to cover a couple other games that I love. Before as we are just having some fun talking. What other types of war games do I love? Oh, I don't know. Maybe something like Aurelian, Restorer of the World. Number two. Number two. Second favorite emperor, by the way. Second favorite Roman emperor. Um, Aurelian, Restorer of the World. So, why do I like this game? Well, small box, small publisher. The small, obviously, the publisher doesn't matter to me per se. Although Hollenspiel does a lot of fantastic games, but small box game, easy to learn, great solitaire system, original solitaire system, not original to this game, but original to Hollenspiel. The 3 cup system, you may have played it in Agricola, Master of Britain, you may have played it in the Charlemagne game. Um, this one a lot better. This was the best one in my opinion by far. Very refined, quick playing system. The 3 cup systems works fantastic, and this one does away with like the mini battles and like the boss battle aspect of it that you got with like Agricola, and just fantastic. Huge fan of it. And I like to see that. I like to see unique solitaire designs, right? As much as I talked about just earlier, I love States of Siege style. Well, I also love, a new solitaire system or a different solitaire system. Um, Lots of types of war games that I love. What are some additional ones? Well, this was mentioned earlier, quite a while earlier. Sorry about that. I think I forget who brought it up, but Hornet Leader. So now that Chester's here, let's talk about DVG and how much I love DVG. Ooh, one of my favorite publishers. So solitaire games like crazy. Hornet Leader. This is the one I always recommend to new people. I think that if you are, and I mean like basically new to everything, if you're new to war games, Hornet Leader. If you're new to DVG, Hornet Leader. New to solitaire war games, you want a dedicated solitaire war game, Hornet Leader. It's not overwhelming from the box. The rules are not overwhelming. The rule book's well done. There's little or no errata. I don't know. I feel like I can just play it from the box. I don't think there's any issues. This isn't Corsair Leader, which had a ton of errata. This one is just like, man, it's ready to go. Um, Leader series, so many different games. And the nice thing is when you learn a game like this and you learn, Hornet Leader, you're learning a system that then you can go into a dozen other games and play. I mean, more than a dozen now. I mean, they're starting to get up there in number of games or in the Leader series. And so when you have that foundation of knowledge, it really helps you to get into other games because then you pick a theme you like more, or a theme that interests you, you want to learn more about, and you can get into it. Definitely more on the game side, less on the simulation aspect, but that's okay. There's a place for all these games. Sometimes I want to play Invaders from Dimension X. Sometimes I want to play an Eastern Front simulation game. Sometimes I want to, fly a Hornet around and, launch air-to-air missiles and shoot down bogeys, etc. Bandits. Here we go. Leader series is really good. Too bad it's DVG produced. What's wrong with that? Fantastic. Fantastic component quality, tons of content, individually die cut counters. I think the OG one didn't have it or anything like that, but now all the new printings do. Pretty sure mine did. Mine does. I'm not gonna put it up. But anyway, Hornet Leader, Carrier Operations, fantastic game and experience, and fantastic system by a world class publisher. Yeah, let's talk about them sometime. Not today. What else we got over here? Oh, speaking of decision games, what do we got? This little guy. What's this little guy? Mini game series, Viking Scourge of the North. Solitaire game. I don't know if this is okay. That part's kind of funny, historically accurate. Maybe not, but fun little mini game. This game's probably what, $15, if that, 12, $13 American. So if you're in Canada, it's probably $60. Just a great little, you can see it. The map's not sexy or anything like that, but little cards, little chits, fun little experience, super easy to play, quick to learn. This one does have some errata and some like weird clarifications, maybe more of errata on this one. Check Board Game Geek for that, but really fun, quick little one. This is one that you are going to punch and play, and you're going to play like a bunch of games in a row, right? Like this isn't you set up, you play once and you're done. You're going to want to like play 3-4 times in a row, just to experience different things. Very like open. It's like an open world adventure style. So if you see it, you can kind of see that the map. You kind of go anywhere you want from one of the starting like bases and areas here in Scandinavia. Start there in the like gold colored ones, and you branch out and you go where you want, and go on little the quests and go get gold and raid villages and plunder and things like that. So super quick, light, very light. I mean, it could expand this and probably make this like a badass like deluxe box set, but I mean, they have to expand it a lot and clarify some stuff, but just a fun, quick little game. Another type of war game I love. Small folio game, inexpensive, easy to get, and plays quick, sets up quick, all that good stuff. So simulation, historically accurate, maybe not, but you have fun with it. Exactly. Yep. Brian says Jester needs to be a guest on a show with Wayne talking DVG. Um, I'm down. So I know that Jester. I was watching. I was typing, chatting a whole bunch. I think Vern, my son, was asleep. I was able to watch the other day. You guys see last Saturday your guys' show and Jester, the War Room, and Jester was saying he needs to have me on there. I'm down. I'm a little bit of a lone wolf. That's probably why I do a solitaire war game channel, and I do a show by myself. Hey, you try talking by yourself for an hour and a half. At least I'm not talking about myself for an hour and a half. Well, most I am. But anyway, I'm talking to myself for an hour and a half. So you try doing that. You have to be kind of a lone wolf and come up with yourself to do that. But I would be willing to go on to someone else's show, maybe. To talk about DVG and how much I love them, yeah, I'd do that. And finally, oh god, this box is heavy. Classic lock and load. Oh, my hernia. Oh, I didn't have a hernia until this started. Big, heavy. Not a huge. Well, it's a decent sized box. Let's just say that. But oh my god, this thing's heavy. Space Infantry Resurgence from Lock and Load Publishing. This is sort of the deluxe version. I think Space Infantry was released a few years ago, and then much like a little bit lighter, whatever. This thing's packed full of content, heavy. It's science fiction, but the components are fantastic. Had some errata when it came out, but they reprinted everything. They printed off and sent out packs to replace what you were missing. So they took care of you there. Um, just, just fantastic. I don't know. What can I say? I'm running out of things to say. I've been going for an hour and a half. Usually my shows are about hour 15-ish, and I'm done in an hour and a half. So we'll wrap up soon here. But solo to 2-player. Played solitaire, baby. So much content in this boxes. Oh, lifted weights. I lifted weights this morning, and now I'm losing it again. Oh, this is Max PR. What can I say? Science fiction, solitaire, lots of stuff, lots of enemies, fantastic component quality. Can't really tell much from the back of the box, unfortunately. But whoop. But individually die cut counters. Again, it's lock and load publishing. So what do you expect? Of course, you're getting great quality. Whew. And I had a hand in not the game, but there's a if you go to Lock and Load's website, if you go to Board Game Geek, there's like an officially produced sequence of play that's like expanded. I think it's like two-page one that I had a hand in working with the designer. I can't remember his name. Sorry, my apologies. It's not been written on here. Man, Lock and Load, you really did that guy. Blackwell Herd, but it's not even written on here. Lock and Load did my guy dirty. David Heath, I got to talk to you about that. You didn't put Blackwell's name on the cover at all? Didn't he? I know it's originally designed right by Giancarlo. Who did it? The original. Anyway, couldn't throw his name on there, even like tiny little 4-point text there. Yep, as I see them answering you. Yeah, it's solo. This is it. I don't know, Jester, if you know, this is a solitaire wargaming channel. This is the Wayne Hansen experience around here. This is Wayne Hansen playing against Wayne Hansen. I almost said with. I don't. It's not the channel we are. We're not on OnlyFans here. But this is the Wayne Hansen versus Wayne Hansen channel. So, or Wayne Hansen versus various bots and flow charts and AIs and whatever else, whatever systems that you happen to find. So, yeah, it is all solitaire on this channel, buddy. I do not show off games that are not solitaire. Now, I'd show off 2-player games that are very solo friendly, but otherwise, everything here is solitaire. I have played solitaire. All these are either solitaire or I play them solitaire. So, definitely. That's who I'm talking about. I don't know. What did I say? Some other random name. Guitardo. And Connie's on the original. Blackwell developed this one out. Yes. And David Heath didn't put his name on the box. Rude. At least a little small text or something to say that. So. This revealed the World War II version of Space Infantry, I think, done on soldiers by one of the designers from. Oh, really? I did not see anything about that. So it'd be like Space Infantry but World War II. I'm down for that. Definitely down for that because Space Infantry is very playable. Even though it's a heavy box and there's a ton of content. And that's not even include the expansion box that like came with the Kickstarter. But it's very playable. It's not complex. At least I didn't think it was. All right. Well, guys, I think any final questions? Anything else for me? Questions, complaints? Well, yeah, Mo, but yeah, check the credits in the rules at the very back. At the very back of the rules in the bottom, the part that no one reads. They don't get that far. They give up. They give up before then. That's where his name is. Like, come on, man. He designed if he developed it, designed the current one, whatever. Throw his name on the cover. Come on. I think so, right? Yeah. I only played the. No, you email me. What's your email? I checked. Actually, funny thing you say that, Jester. I tried to check your videos to see if you had an email address. There's nothing listed. You got no information in like the info section, the video description. You got to check your videos. Now, my video description here only has some donation links, but if you check all my other videos, you'll see a whole bunch of crap, including my email, my Board Game Geek ID, and well, maybe just those two for contacting. But yeah, so you shoot me an email. 10 posts. I'm not looking up. No, I'm not doing that. 10 posts, you'll see my email address. No, I don't do that. Here's the deal. You guys are lucky I even read chat, because some of you guys are starting to piss me off. Talking about miniature games before. Charles had to bring that up at the beginning. I'm still feisty about that. And then I got people talking about uh, other things that I don't understand. I've never seen stuff. They're talking about a new game I didn't know about. I'm supposed to know about all the new games. That pisses me off too. That's two things. That's two reasons I'm pissed off. Jester's too busy prepping for gaming with Herm. Yeah, you got Herman Lutman and Jester playing Euro Trash. You guys are gonna be playing Village Green. Right there. Village Green. That's the one where you design the best garden for your town. And then I posted that video, did a playthrough of it for April Fools, like April 1st, and no one got it. Like no one got it. Not that I guess who cares, right? But no one got it. And someone responded, and they're like, "Well, if Wayne wants to expand grow his channel, he should be allowed to." And I'm like, "No, I was just messing around. I don't actually hate war games. I'm not going to do games about gardening now." It says you have memorized by now. I'm worldwide known. Okay, you're canceled. I'm banning you. Once I figure out how to ban people, Charles, Kilroy was here, Jester. You laughing at? You better be laughing with me, and then I'll keep you around. Evil Genius Herman Lum. I don't want to get rid of him. The 3 expansions. Well, Village Green is great for. It actually was fun solitaire. Well, of course, solitaire, right? So you can actually play it pretty quick because it's like super quick playing. Like throw the cards down basically and just try to get the best score. Kind of fun. Not everyone, just people who disagree with me, who like miniature war games, who don't say I'm the best, who are late. That's a ban. That's a ban right there. So, but I still haven't figured out how to ban people. So you guys are still good for now. But once I figure it out, watch out. That's all I'll say. All right. Let's wrap it up, everybody. Anything final? I think we're done. You know what? We're done here. Wait, what are we at? 140. That's way too long. Way too long talking to you guys. Way too long. Well, you're done. You're done. We're gonna do a solo show with only one viewer, staying on brand if I have to, and I'll be the only viewer because I'm gonna go into another computer and watch myself on here. It's what I do when I'm filming videos. It's what I do when I'm playing my war games. That's how we do it. So, all right, guys, love seeing everybody. Thank you so much for everyone who contributed. Really appreciated it. Coming in, chatting, stopping by. It's great to see everybody. Even Kilroy was here. I guess it's fine seeing you. Message me on Facebook. We got to get you on. We talk about that. So, anyway, guys, I think that's it. Let me pull up the little goodbye thing. Where is it at? I can't find it. I'm just stalling for time right now. Keep talking. That's all I got to do. And all right, guys, next Friday, 1,800 hours, not 1,200, so 6 hours later than usual, because I'm going to have Sean Drulinger on to talk about my review of Point Blank, and he's going to rebut everything I said, which I will disagree with him, and I'm right, and he's wrong. See that next Friday, and I'll give you more information somewhere on the internet. So, all right, guys, until next time, later.